Ray-Pec community, this is Mike Slagle, your superintendent, back for another episode of Ray-Pec Connect. As you know, the purpose of Ray-Pec Connect is to provide in-depth information on key topics and issues here in the Ray-Pec School District. This is a program where we go a little more deeper than you can probably find in print or on our website in a conversation style. And today I'm joined by Dr. Glenna Bult, our Director of Secondary Education. Glenna, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, all about Ray-Pec Connect this year is to talking about how our schools are a school of choice. And one of the things that, as a leader of the school district, I wanted to make sure that we provide our parents and our students is an opportunity to choose the best learning paths for their young people, for their children, as possible that we can do here in the Ray-Pec School District. We've made some great strides over the last 4 years in this area, becoming a school district of choice. And today's program focuses on what we're doing at the secondary level. And I know right when I say that, one of the first things that people think of that we've made changes recently to become a school district of choice is our Lead Center program. I know you're brand new to this district, so when you heard that we were a school district of choice, what did that mean to you? And from your perspective, what have you seen so far?
Well, that was one of the main reasons of interest for wanting to come and join the Ray-Pec team. Lead Center, I was actually able to take a tour prior to accepting this position or even interviewing for it, and was very much in awe of everything the district was doing at that time. I think it's pretty amazing. I don't know that everybody understands. There are a lot of programs that we offer our students here in the Ray-Pec School District, and it goes way beyond just the Lead Center. We will be even bringing on possibly more programs next year at the Lead Center. So that's continuing to expand. In fact, I think we tripled enrollment at the Lead Center this year. So that's exciting, but we also have a lot of other programs to give kids all the choices that we possibly can with our connections. MCC, UCM, they have some outreach programs that some of our students are attending. Summit Technology and Cass Career Center are also opportunities. But then also just within our own district, we have AP courses, Project Lead the Way program, our special education program. The academy offers a little bit of a different approach to education. So I just feel like there's a lot that we're trying to meet all the kids' needs here in the Ray-Pec School District.
As a parent, I know I would have loved for opportunities like this that our kids have. Let's just take them one by one. So if I were a student coming into the Ray-Pec School District at the secondary level, and I was a student who maybe wanted to use my hands more than, you know how squirrely sometimes middle schoolers can be. Want to use my hands, be up and around, kinetic learning, that sort of thing, always hands-on approach, all the way through the secondary level. We certainly have that. We are really starting to break new ground with, something called competency-based learning, those types of experiences where kids are up and making their learning active. What have you seen there in our district where kids are, really experiencing? Talk to me a little bit about this advisory idea as well, where learning is, choice-based as well.
Yes, I'm excited for the competency-based and project-based learning, and starting actually with middle school. I think we focus so much on kids graduating and what's the next step, and we need to do a little bit better job of introducing it a little bit earlier. And so the competency-based and project-based learning, we've done some site visits. We've got a team that we're working on, and I think that's going to be really exciting to personalize learning for kids and the relevancy for kids. Why are we truly doing this? But then also during advisory time, we have opened up, you can say passion, interests, but we're starting to, what are the kids and teachers interested in, and having little bouts and being able to have experiences along the way to figure out, oh, I might want to go into this area, or I might not want to go into this area.
Exactly. Last Thursday night at our Board of Education meeting, we had our South Middle School principal, Stacy Johnson, come and talk to our board about all the great things happening at South Middle School. She used a phrase that I want to hone in on. She said when she became the principal there this year, she wanted to talk to the students about more input and more fun into learning. And that's something I think that we are really starting to focus in on the formula when we think about new programs and ways we're presenting this learning to our kids is how can we make it fun, more fun, and what is their input, what is their learning ownership in all this? And so talk to me a little bit about how we have still started to delve into our kids about owning their learning and their learning experiences.
Well, I think we need to remember that kids are our audience and our clientele. That's who we service, our students and families. And it is always important to go back just in the business world to your clients who you serve. What is it that they're wanting and needing? And we've found ways to do that. Before we start any of our programs, we're always surveying and getting input of what is the need, but also what's the desire, and what would the community and our kids want. And that's how we build the programs and we offer the programs that we do. Competency-based learning is going to be able, I really feel like, to truly personalize some of the things that we've observed and are talking about. Is I, as a student, I'm going to take ownership in my learning because I'm going to pick a standard or a learning target or an objective and identify this is where I want to be and how I want to perform, and I know what I need to do to get there.
Yeah.
Mixed grade levels to a certain extent. It's about the learning and progressing through the learning than each day in the classroom and the traditional learning that probably most of us have experienced.
Exactly. And that's still important because I think we can't lose sight of the fact that traditional learning provides a foundation, number one. And secondly, also is the predominant type of learning style that kids will graduate to in the colleges. So that we've had to be the best of both worlds. Chase your passion, find what interests you, and have that smorgasbord of opportunities for kids. But at the same time, we can't underscore the importance of that traditional learning experience as well. So I think it's a blend of both. I know I had two children who were students. And they had vastly different learning styles. And here were two kids from the same gene pool that were about different styles of learning. One was very much hands-on, would have gravitated to more of a lead center, CAS career center type environment. And the other one was more of a traditional learner. Loved being in the classroom environment, loved sharing ideas and opinions, but in a very structured way. And I think we need to understand that that's still a very valid mode of learning for many of our students. So we can't go one extreme or the other. Our approach is going to be more of a smorgasbord approach of here are the learning opportunities. We want each student to have an opportunity for further growth and development once they leave here.
I love to hear you say that, Dr. Slagle. My favorite word is balance. Because I feel like sometimes we just swing from one end of the pendulum to the other. And in a perfect world, we're providing all these opportunities for kids, and they get to dabble and they get to find out what works for them, what they're interested in, and where they're most successful. And I think sometimes we forget it's maybe more important to figure out what you aren't interested in while you're here,
Right. Yeah.
than what you are. And that's what we want to do, is provide them your smorgasbord.
Yes.
And let them figure it out along the way with some support and guidance while they're with us.
So my smorgasbord will be your balance.
All right.
We'll do a balanced
I
smorgasbord
like
approach to this sort of thing. And it's been really fun to watch this develop over time because I think our students up until last year didn't know what was possible. And I think for the most part, the organization itself, and I talk about organization from a broad perspective, really doesn't know what's possible because all of us were raised in a very narrow type of approach to education where it looked the same for everybody. And it can't look the same for everyone as we move forward. It's got to look different. And we've got to be more celebratory of a variety of learning experiences for our kids that are all equally as valid. Now, I don't want to have our listeners think we're getting away from rigor or from standards. All of these experiences we're developing for our kids are developed with the Missouri Learning Standards in mind. So that's an important piece too to always remember about this.
Absolutely. We're embedding English and math credit over at the Lead Center this year. This is the first year, and that's going very well, but it can be challenging too, but it's more about that relevancy piece. What's the actual math and English skills that they need to take to the next step in the workplace and what they're doing?
Some of the fun conversations I've had with students who are in this type of learning is that they're learning and not knowing they are. Learning, it doesn't have to be a chore. Learning can be fun. And I think elementary schools, for the most part, with a lot of the play-based activities we have, learning is still fun. And at some point, don't know when it happens, but it feels like it becomes a chore. And I think our kids need to rediscover, and I think our kids are rediscovering that learning can be fun at the same time.
Learning should be fun.
Yes.
I also think it's about providing, again, those choices instead of a one way, even in a traditional classroom, and everybody does the same thing. How can we do stations and centers and different things to personalize and individualize to our kids? And we're getting there.
Yep.
We're getting there.
Now I know at Ray-Pec Academy, we have also made a switch there, making it what I called, I don't want that to be a finish line, I want that to be a starting point for kids. And we've embedded a lot of real life and service learning experiences there that didn't exist several years ago. So talk to me about the transformation you see there and how that's exciting for kids as well.
It is very exciting for kids. And combining of the world is bigger than me, and being able to make it a better place, for lack of a better way to say that, and my contribution to society. So we've had groups go out and work in the nursing homes, nursing home. We have had kind of a more health focused on the outdoor and camping and survival skills, if you will.
Nice. That's fun.
There also been, I believe, the cooking and in the kitchen, and then that's where you tie in some of the standards when we say we're not losing the rigor, what math, measurements, and whatnot. But they're able to really do some different things and partner with the community that we haven't been able to get quite there in a traditional schedule.
That's
We
awesome.
have a little bit more flexibility over at the academy during the schedule.
That's awesome. That's great. We have partnerships with Cass Career down in Harrisonville and Summit Tech in Lee Summit. And our approach to those types of opportunities, whether make sure that whatever programs we developed here in the Ray-Pec School District were complementary and not in competition. So our students really did have that balance or that smorgasbord over time. Speaking of time, as we look into the future, there are several other programs that we want to explore and bring on. I know a couple of them on the docket for next year and one maybe down the road a little bit because it's a little more planning development. But talk to me about HVAC, health sciences, and then also ROTC.
Yes. So we're also expanding carpentry this next year, and HVAC will come on this next school year. We believe that health science, we've been discussing that. The advisory met again last week. We might be able to actually offer a couple different pathways in health science because that's a need.
Absolutely.
That's a need in the community, but that's also a need our students are very much interested in the program too. So we may have some different options within one area. And then ROTC, hopefully, eventually down the road. So that just adds to the programs that we already have in existence, which is super exciting.
The health sciences really interest me because that gears towards kids towards a variety of fields they probably don't even know exist in the healthcare industry. Obviously, we know the ones that are most prevalent, but there are a lot behind the scenes that students can make a great living at, find their niche in a variety of different pathways that are meaningful to them, and do some great things.
Yes, we're excited to open that door. I do think typically when kids and families hear health sciences, we think nurses and doctors. And I think that might be the most exciting piece of that program is opening the door up to what other, as you said, careers, whether it's medical coding, we've been talking pharmaceutical tech,
Nice. Very good.
because that's a need.
Right.
If you have gone through the pharmacy lately, that's a real need out
Real
there.
need.
So that's really exciting to open the eyes up to students and families of what really is all out there and available to them.
And the other area you've talked about long term, but long term to us is 2 to 3 years down the road, so it's really not super long term, is military careers or ROTC. That's something I think a lot of our students go into, and if we could have a preparation opportunity for them here in the school district, I think would be a home run ball for a lot of kids.
I agree. It would be nice. It's a great program, and we're really excited to hopefully be able to get that up and running in the next, like you said, two or 3 years.
Yes.
Maybe sooner, but
Maybe sooner.
yes.
We've got to walk before we can run sometimes. Excellent. Dr. Bull, thank you for being here today, talking to us about our secondary approach to becoming a school district of choice. something that isn't going to happen overnight, but we're making steps on each and every day to make things better for kids. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Ray-Pec community, thanks again for listening today as we talk with Dr. Glenna Bult about the Ray-Pec School District being a school district of choice at the secondary level. Tune in next time. We'll have another special guest. Until then, keep smiling, and we'll see you soon.